Hello, hello, hello. I'm so excited to chat with you guys tonight. If you are new to me, hello and welcome. My name is Jerisha Hawk. I'm a high ticket sales coach and I teach service-based business owners, primarily coaches and consultants, how to package a high ticket offer and how to sell it consistently. So I'm very excited to be chatting with you guys this evening. I posted something on my Instagram a little bit earlier and shared here on Facebook that I think it's very, very important for us to be doing a business audit on the health of our business and to understand what's really going on in our business on like every 90 days on a 90-day cycle. And I'm sitting here kind of going through that for myself, and I figure, why don't I show you guys what I actually show my clients when it comes to evaluating the health of their business and going through the services that sell framework and understanding where their business is and where they may need to focus their attention, identify where your gaps are, so then you can have a clear understanding of what you need to be doing next. So if you have not done so already, if you type in the word sales, SALES, in the comments, I'm going to be sending you a direct message here on Facebook where I will be sharing with you the workbook that we're going to be going through here in just a moment. So I figured that might be good for you to do. If you haven't done so already, just type in the word sales, SALES, and then you'll be able to check your DMs for the PDF workbook that we're going to be going through today, okay? So starting off with that. But the main thing that I think is important for all of us to understand is when we're in the process of growing and building our business, a lot of the time, like for you, what are the first things that come up for you when it's time for you to launch, when it's time for you to grow, when it's time for you to scale? What do you feel as if that you need to be doing? Right? What do you feel like you need to be doing? A lot of the time people will say, I need to be making a logo. I need to put together a website. I need to start running paid ads. Like there's all these things that come up with things that we need to do. And a lot of the time we will just rush forward and start doing those things. And after a while, we'll either get burnt out, we will start to lose momentum, or we won't ever actually get the results that we are looking to achieve, right? And I think that happens a lot of the time to a lot of us. I know it's happened to me. It happens to a lot of my clients. And one thing I want to chat with you guys today about is really this is what we teach inside of my program Services That Sell. This is really what I recommend to coaches and consultants who are looking to build a very healthy 5-figure business and position themselves to break over that 6-figure mark, is you need to have these 4 things in place. And when you type in the word sales in the comments below, you will get a workbook that looks like this, okay? So let me go ahead and share this full screen for you guys. But you'll get a workbook that looks like this, a couple pages long. And this is what I want us to go over today, okay? So the first thing that you need to understand is when you're developing out your business and creating, launching your business, you're looking forward to replacing your salary or having extra income to take your family on vacation or whatever you want to use the extra money for, you need to have a very strong signature service. And a strong signature service offering is made up of a core group of fundamental concepts that we're going to be talking about here in just a little bit. But Services That Sell really identifies these 4 key components of creating and selling a high ticket offer. And when you really start to look at these 4 key components, and this is what you're going to be evaluating your business on today, so you can start to get an understanding of where your gaps exist and how healthy your coaching or consulting business is. And once you understand where your gaps are, you will also get a very good understanding of where your attention and your focus needs to be. So let's go ahead and dive into these 4, okay? So the first component of your business that's really important, the first component that is vital for you to be able to package and sell a high ticket offer and for you to create your own signature service, is all about the package. It's all about your packaging. It's all about how you package your offer. And the most successful service-based business owners not only know how to deliver an amazing experience and deliver amazing results for their clients, they also know how to communicate the value in a very clear and concise way to others. And this is where I think many of us fall out of, many of us have a disconnect. You may be amazing at the results that you're able to help a client get. You're amazing at your skill set, but you haven't yet learned how to communicate the value of what you do in a very clear, concise, and confident manner, in a way that other people will actually understand. The most successful service-based business owners are able to effectively define the specific problem that they solve, who they solve it for, and they guide their clients through a step-by-step process to achieve a specific result. And this is really important because as you start to grow and scale your business, you don't want to be solving problems for everybody and their mama. You want to be solving a very specific problem for a very specific person. So during the package phase, or when you're in the process of packaging your offer, you want to implement what we call the POP method, P-O-P, to get super clear on pick one problem. This is the problem that you're going to be solving with your signature service. Pick one person. This is who you're solving it for. And package one process. What is the process that you're taking a client through to get them from where they are right now to where they want to be? Think about this as like the navigation system, your Siri's GPS. It's a very distinct and defined route to get you from where you are to where you want to be. And as a service provider, you want to be able to give your clients that level of confidence and certainty. So this method will be the backbone of your signature service. That pick one problem, pick one person, package one process. And it will help you identify what offer to package. So you may be that individual right now that has a ton of business ideas, but you're like, okay, how do I pick which one I need to focus on? How do I know which one's going to be profitable? How do I just focus on and niche down? And really that POP method helps you do that. It will also allow you to package your service in a way that's very clear, that's very concise, and that also attracts the type of clients that you actually want to be serving. So in addition, the whole POP method and really the package portion of your offer is really focused around you being able to clearly communicate the value of what you do, and makes it so, and this also is what differentiates you from other people. So it makes it very easy for the people that you want to be working with to be able to find you, okay? So the second part of this process is all about your pricing. So after you've nailed down your package, you've nailed down what problem you're going to solve, you've nailed down what your offer actually is, that's when you need to step into how do you now price your offer. And I don't know about you, I know pricing is something I used to struggle with a lot. Right now, let me know in the comments, do you currently struggle with your pricing? So before you can sell a high ticket service confidently, you have to be able to reprogram and up-level your own money mindset. A lot of the time, your limiting beliefs about how much somebody will or will not pay for your services, or some of your own self-sabotaging, just understanding your beliefs around money will hold you back. And it's really important for you to be able to unpack and make sure that you aren't projecting your limiting money beliefs onto somebody else. And that's really, really important that you don't do that. So this will allow you to confidently communicate the value of your offer with a price point to match. So once you get a grasp of what your current money mindset is and get a grasp of what your beliefs are about, and you get an understanding of what you currently believe you're worth to be, that will help you actually be able to confidently sell high ticket. A lot of the time, you may not be converting high ticket clients primarily because you're not selling high ticket offers. You're not even offering it because of some limiting belief that you have that, oh, somebody won't pay me $5,000 to work with me, or I can't charge $15,000 for a client. Your limiting money beliefs may be holding you back from elevating your price point. So during the whole pricing stage of your signature service, and when you're going through that phase of pricing your offer, you need to reprogram your money mindset. And then after that, you need to determine a price that feels good to you and will allow you to achieve your income goals easier, so you can work smarter and not harder. So an important part of this is a lot of the time we will set these income goals of, Jay, I want to be making $3,000 a month. I want to make $10,000 a month. Really quickly, pop in the comments and let me know, what is your monthly income goal? How much do you actually want to be making every single month? Whatever your income goal is, you need to make sure that the pricing of your services aligns. If somebody's telling me they want to make $10,000 a month, but their highest offer that they're selling is $27, it's going to be a bit more difficult to get there because you're going to need to sell, I don't know, 50 or 100 of that $27 product to be able to hit a $10,000 income goal. Versus if your income goal is $10,000 and let's say the price of your signature service is $2,500, you only need to sell 4 of them. So it's important that the price of your service aligns with your income goals, and also matches what your current capacity is, right? So if you only have so much time, if you're currently now working full time, if you are raising a family at home, like if you have all these other responsibilities, you only have so much time and attention that you have available to give to building your business in the beginning. So it's important that it's much smarter to sell a high ticket offer to a small number of people. So you only have to convert 2 or 3 or 4 clients to hit your income goal versus you trying to sell a low ticket offer when you're going to have to sell 50 to 100 of them to ever even come close to your income goal. And after that, after you've really defined what your price point needs to be, another caveat of your pricing is you need to price your offer at a price point where whoever you're working with, your client, like the dollar amount is enough for them to be committed, right? When you're selling a high ticket offer, a high end offer, you're helping somebody experience a real transformation, a radical transformation. You are helping them get unstuck in a big way. And in order for your clients to effectively show up and do the work and be fully committed to doing whatever's required to get the result, that your price point needs to match what their commitment level needs to be. Okay. And lastly, after you've worked through your money mindset and after you've worked through the pricing of your signature service, you'll want to forecast your cash flow and create very clear money projections so you can consistently achieve your income goals. After you've gone through and packaged your offer and priced your offer, you really need to start thinking about your positioning. And positioning is extremely important because this is really what allows you to differentiate yourself in the marketplace and allows you to differentiate yourself to make sure that your ideal client is able to point you out in like the herd of everybody else. So knowing how to differentiate between your marketing strategy and your ideal client's buying strategy is a surefire way for you to convert the right type of clients time and time again. So a lot of the time as business owners, we get very focus on what is our marketing strategy? What do I need to be doing to market my services and to get in front of more people? You also, understanding what your marketing strategy is going to be is important. And I'm a really big believer in having a very simple marketing strategy, especially in the beginning stages, or especially if you're earning less than 6 figures a year. But a very important thing that you need to consider about is what is your client's buying strategy? So I want you to put yourself in the shoes of a consumer. A consumer has a strategy on how they buy. Even like you right now watching this, you had a buying strategy and you giving your time today to even watch this live stream. What were the criteria and the things that you thought through to say whether or not you were going to give your attention to even watching this video? That same type of mindset, those decisions that a client makes or a customer makes is going to be very similar when it comes to why they'll buy. Your clients have a buying strategy. And you as a business owner, you need to understand how to mirror and align your marketing strategy with how somebody is making a buying decision. So when it comes to positioning your offer, you need to learn how to, the best way for you to learn how to close not just more clients, but better clients is having that alignment between your marketing strategy and a client's buying strategy, okay? So the framework that we're going to talk a little bit more about and that you're about to evaluate your business on in just a moment will teach you a very simple process to converting clients while only using the necessary tech and software to be able to go out there and sell, okay? Utilizing I'm a really big believer in having automated systems, but I'm also a big believer in not implementing these crazy complicated strategies because you can get super effective results by just using live stream video, like really mastering creating content using live video and mastering your sales call. Like, getting people on a call and closing them on a call. Those two things, if you can't sell using live video and sales calls, you're going to have a very difficult time selling using sales pages or these other complicated or more sophisticated marketing strategies. And having a simple process to attract clients and convert them means that you have now more time to be able to serve more clients and make more money. And the final part of all of this, now that you've packaged your offer, you've priced your offer, you've understand how to position your offer, we need to talk about 4 is all about profit. And the final step calls for full-on execution. Launching your services is the beginning of your sales process. I know a lot of the time people are like, Jay, I need to launch my stuff. I need to launch my business. Launching is just the beginning. You have to know how, you must learn how to close the sale and actually convert clients over the phone. You need to know how to sell your services. You need to know how to close the client and to get their credit card information and to actually convert them into a paying customer. And during the profit phase, all about stage 4 is you need to really have a grasp on everything you need to know and do before you get on the sales call, so you're 100% prepared and ready to close, and also have a proven script or template to follow, so you can get comfortable having these conversations so you can convert your clients into cash. Okay, so I hope by now that you've downloaded you've typed in the word sales in the comments and you've at least downloaded the workbook, because now I want you to actually evaluate the health of your business. Okay, so this is going to be interactive. So in the comments, we can do this together. Print this off. You can do this by yourself. But now that we know the 4 key components are to having a healthy service-based business, we need to assess where your business is right now. And the roadmap I'm about to show you guys in just a moment here will tell you exactly where you are on your path to creating services that sell. So each time you fill out this roadmap, I actually recommend that you go through it on probably like a quarterly basis. But every quarter, your overall rating should increase. And we'll talk about the results in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and actually share my screen again. And I really do want this to be interactive. So as we're going through this, I want you guys to rank yourself in the comments, okay? And let me keep this up here so I can actually see the comments. And let's also see if I can draw while we're doing this. Okay, so the first thing here is each one of these categories that you're going to see, I want you guys to, if you have a pen, or whatever, or you can just write this in with a normal pen or whatever. Every one of these questions I'm going to ask you, or one of these statements, really is an evaluation of where you are at right now in your business and whether or not you're in a healthy state. So for every question, I want you to write down the word red or the letter R if you are not confident in this. Like if things are not looking good for you. I want you to write down the word yellow or a Y if it's maybe halfway through, like maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, it's not terrible. And I want you to write down the word green or the letter G if it's amazing, you're super confident, and you have that in place, okay? So it's like a traffic light system. There's red, green, and yellow. And for every one of these comments, I just want you to write down the word red. You can color it in if you have like highlighters or crayons. You can get super creative, or you can just write in the letter R. All right. So as we're going through this, I want you guys to pop in the comments and give me a red, yellow, or green for what this is for you right now in your business. So in the first, we're going to start right here in the first part. Okay. The first key component that you need to have is all about package. So let me know in the comments right now, do you have, or the specific type of person you intend to serve? And just write down green if you are very confident and have a very specific target market. Write down yellow if you really don't know exactly who it is you're trying to serve. And write down red or the letter R if you have like literally no idea the specific type of person you intend to serve with your services. So just give me a green or a G, yellow or a Y, red or an R. And you can just mark that down there. So just pop that in the comments. And let me know where you guys are at with that, okay? So we're going to be evaluating ourselves on each of these and then coming up with a percentage score on what the health is of your business. So you know the specific type of person you intend to serve. Yellow, red, or green. I see Brittany, I see Nia. You guys are both giving yellow. So let's see if this is actually going to work. So for the first one, I'm seeing a lot of yellows in the comments. Okay. The second one is you could describe someone in your target market in great detail, including their internal and external problems. So let me know, are you green, yellow, or red for that? That you could describe someone in your target market in like extreme detail and great detail, including what their internal problems are as it associates to what service you sell and their external problems. So what I mean by internal problems and external problems is internal problems are more like feelings, emotions. External problems are very much more like tangible and result based. So right now, this is for the second question, you could describe someone in your target market in great detail, including their internal and external problems. I'm seeing green, green, yellow, yellow. Is there another one? We can give this one. We'll give this one a green. So let's do that. For the second one, we will give that one a green. I saw more greens than I saw yellows. Okay. So for the third one is you can clearly and specifically articulate the problem you solve for your ideal client. And I think this is one that's very important. This is not you being able to define what service you sell. This is not by saying like, oh, I offer workshops, I do events. No, you're able to articulate specifically and clearly what problem you solve for your ideal client. Meaning not what service do you sell, what problem do you solve for them? Or would you give yourself a yellow, a green, or a red? Red meaning that you cannot clearly and specifically articulate the problem that you solve. Green, that you confidently can do that. Yellow, like, maybe halfway. Let me know, how do you feel about clearly and specifically articulating the problem that you solve for your ideal client? Give me a green, yellow, or red. And it's completely okay. Like whatever your rating is, it's not a good, bad, or indifferent thing. It just lets us know where you may need to work on and where you may need to focus your attention. So you can articulate what problem you solve. I'm seeing a lot of greens. Okay. Okay, so for the fourth one is others are able to clearly articulate what problem you solve and your offer is easy to refer. So I think this one's really important because a lot of the time you may think that you know how to articulate the problem that you solve. But if I were to walk up to somebody who's well-versed or, who you maybe been trying to, can they articulate it back to you? Like, do you believe that your ideal client clearly understands what problem you solve and it's easy for other people to be able to refer you because they fully understand what problem you solve? Yellow, green, or red for that. Others are able to clearly articulate what problem you solve and your offer is easy to refer. And this is not based off of what your perception is, okay? This is based off of what somebody else's perception really is. So are others able to clearly articulate the problem that you solve? I write down no if people really struggle to understand what it is that you do. And I write down green if you are getting referrals and all of those referrals are ideal clients. All of those referrals are like quality leads. And yellow if you're somewhere in between. I'm seeing green, yellow, and red for this one. I'm going to give this one a yellow to kind of meet us in the middle there. Okay, and then the final part of package is you have a system in place that allows you to deliver consistent results for your clients. So when a client comes to you, you have a comprehensive process in place to get them from where they are to where they want to be, and it's documented on paper. So what I mean by that is when a client onboards with you, or if a client were to onboard with you today, that you have a documented on paper process that walks them through exactly every single step that they need to go through for you to be able to solve the problem that you solve for them. Meaning that like your process isn't just in your head, that your process, you're not just creating it on the whim, that you have a documented methodology that it clearly demonstrates the comprehensive process of how you help a client get that result. And that process is documented in a way where you're able to get consistent results for your clients. So from client to client, you're seeing a consistency in the level of results they're getting, and your process is documented on paper. This is the one I think is probably the most hardest for people. Yellow, green, I'm almost there. Somebody else said red. I know this is one from experience where most people struggle. Like, they may have a broad outline in the sense that, like, oh, I need to, like, get on a phone call. Like, getting on a phone call is not a process. Getting on a phone call is, like, you need to have, like, a documented methodology. Okay? I'm going to put this one as red for this. Let's see if we can change that color. Okay. So moving into the second part of this is all about your pricing. So for the first one is you have a process in place that allows you to account for your taxes, expenses, and paying yourself. Meaning that, are you right now generating revenue, and as money comes in, you're just putting it all in your pocket? If that is the case, give yourself a red on this. Do you have a process in place that allows you to, make sure that when money comes in, you know how much needs to be put away for taxes, you know how much needs to be put away for, your business expenses, and you have a separate, bucket for what you'll actually be able to pay yourself. This is really important. I'd say most people who start working with me in services that sell are currently not paying themselves because they don't have a process in place that allows them to account for their resources or their money all the way through. So let me know, where are you at on that? Red, yellow, or green? I'm seeing 2 reds so far. We're going to just go with red on that one. Second one is, you are confident in saying your rates and communicating that during a sales call with certainty? So how confident do you feel right now saying your rates and communicating that during a sales call? And being able to say that with certainty. Not saying your rate that, oh, it's $1,000 to work with me, but I'll give you a discount since my friend referred you. Like, where you're not almost like, selling yourself out of the sale. How confident are you right now in selling and saying your rates and communicating that during a sales call? Are you super confident where you're like, yes, I'm great at this. You feel very, very good about this. Or I'm seeing green, yellow. Any others, guys? How confident are you saying your rates and communicating that during a sales call with certainty? Okay, I'm going to give this one a yellow. We're kind of across the board on that one. Okay, so the third one here is, what you offer is valued at based on the return on investment you're able to get for a client. So what I mean by this is, a lot of the time, individuals have a difficulty raising their rates or charging higher price point because they don't know how to communicate the value to their client. And really the value that you're delivering is really what the return on the investment is going to be. So do you know what your offer is valued at based on the return on the investment that you're able to get for a client? Meaning, do you know what the return on the investment is for your client? Do you know how much it will cost your client to not hire you? And do you know how to communicate that effectively? So let me know, green, yellow, or red, where do you feel like you're at on that one? That you know the value of your offer based on the ROI, the return on investment that you're able to get for a client. Green, yellow, or red. Let me know. This one I think is interesting because a lot of the time, I think we think about, oh, I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I know that what I deliver is of value, but a lot of the time we forget that it's our responsibility. It's your responsibility as a service-based provider to be able to communicate what the return on the investment is going to be for that client. So you need to be able to do that. So I'm seeing red, yellow. Anybody else on ROI, understanding that what your offer is valued at based on the ROI that you're able to get for a client? I'm seeing a red and a yellow. Okay, we will give yellow for that one. Okay, so the next one is, what you need to charge in order to achieve your income goals. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Do you know how much you need to be charging per client and also equating for and being able to factor in how much time you actually have available to work in and on your business to achieve your income goals. Jermaine has a green. I see yellow. Do you know what you need to charge in order to achieve your income goals? Are you aware of what that number needs to be? And I see a green. I see a yellow. I'm going to give us a green for that one. And then the last one here as part of the pricing is you are clear on how many clients you need to convert, factoring in how much time you need to actually work and with clients in and on your business. So this one kind of accompanies the previous one. Just are you aware of what you need to charge? And then do you know how many clients you need to convert, factoring in how much time you need to actually work? And that's something that I do see some business owners fall flat on because they say, well, Jack, I can work with 10 clients. If I work with 10 clients at $1,000, I'll hit my revenue goal. But when you actually look at how much time they have available to work in their business and on their business, maybe you only have 15 hours a week outside of your 9-to-5 job and raising your family or whatever. All 15 of those hours are not client dedicated hours. All 15 of those hours, I'd say maybe 60% of that you might be able to give to working with clients, and the other 40% you're working on your business. So you only have so much time available. I'm seeing green, yellow, and red, so we'll go with yellow on that. I hope this is helpful for you guys. And when we start really putting colors to it, you're able to start very visually seeing, okay, this is where I definitely need help. This is where I'm doing well. This is in my yellow or the gaps that I need to fill in. So as we move on to positioning, are we moving at a good pace? Are you guys feeling good? Just give me like a thumbs up, a yes, whatevs in the comment. But we're going to move on to positioning. So let me know, green, yellow, or red. You have a solid offer with a clear process that you follow each time to support clients. So what I mean by this is that you have a documented process that you follow every time to support a client. So red that you have no process. Yellow if you have a partial process, and green if you have your process is bomb. Your process could be turned into like a digital course. Your process could be licensed out. And what I mean by this is if you're constantly customizing the way that you support your clients every single time a client comes in, we need to work on that. So if you're constantly customizing the back end of your sales process or the back end of the process that you use to help your client get a result, that is a red. You don't want to have to be customizing it every single time. You should have some sort of framework and a process that is clear that you're guiding a client through. Another way to think about how clear your process is if you were to hire somebody else to come into your business right now, they should be able to serve your client and get consistent results based off the process you have documented. That's a really good test. So let me know red, yellow, or green where you feel like you fall out on that. I'm seeing yellows so far. Oh, whoops. Let me see. Yellow. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of yellows for that one. Oops. All right. So the next one is what makes you stand out and different from your competition. And you're able to communicate that. So do you know what really do you know what differentiates you and what makes you uniquely different and what gives you a unique edge over your competition? If yes, say green. If maybe, say red, yellow. If you really don't know what makes you different, like if you feel right now, like if you're somebody who has fear that I can't go out there and do this because there's too many people doing it, give yourself a red. If you feel like everybody else and their mom was already doing this, I can't possibly succeed in this, give yourself a red. If you don't know what makes you stand out and what makes you different and you're able to articulate that, give that a red. If you're somewhat in the between, give yourself a yellow. And if you definitely know you're able to clearly communicate it and your clients know what makes you different, give yourself a green. And one thing I want to just remind you guys is to give honest answers to this. Because honestly, if you skew your answers or sway on the side of being overly positive, it's not going to really help you in the long run. we got to get clear results. So we got to know what's going on. So I'm seeing yellows for that one. Yellows and greens for that one. Okay, good. So the next one is when you are at an event and someone asks you what you do, you know how to respond and communicate what service you sell clearly and confidently. Let me know green, yellow, or red on that. If you're at an event, someone asks what you do, you don't freak out. If you freak out, go red. If you don't know how to answer this question or you hate being asked this question, I would probably give yourself a red for that, because that would lead me to think that you don't know how to communicate and respond in a clear and confident way. If you're super confident about what you do and confident about communicating that in an event when somebody asks, give yourself a green. And if you're somewhere in between, give yourself a red. So just let me know where you fall on this one. When you're at an event and someone asks what you do, you know how to respond and communicate what service you sell clearly and confidently. I'm seeing a green. Let me know where you guys fall at on that one. Okay, I'm seeing greens on that one, so that's good. Okay. Next one is you are attracting the best kind of clients who are ready to take the next step. Green meaning that 90%, I'd say over 80% of the people you get on a sales call, they buy from you. If you're somewhere maybe around the 50 to 70% sales conversion rate, I'd go yellow. And if you're less than 50% conversion rate on your sales calls, I would go red. So if you're constantly getting on sales calls and you're having to convince people why they need to work with you, and like you feel like you're like having to overly sell yourself on a sales call, I would go red. You're like, and if you're converting less than 50% of your sales calls, go red. If you're converting 50 to 70%, yellow. If you're converting over 70%, I would give yourself a green. Because that's a very good indication that you're attracting the best kind of clients who are ready to take the next step and actually buy. If you're converting less than half of your sales calls, that there's probably an issue. So if you don't do sales calls, how do you convert clients? Where are you converting clients right now? I'd say for most of us, sales calls, or if I'm just wondering whatever your last step is for conversion, or if you don't do sales calls, I'd ask yourself just how confident are you feeling right now that you're attracting qualified leads consistently? If you don't feel like you're attracting qualified leads, if you feel like you're attracting people who are constantly asking for a discount, who are constantly asking for, so most of your clients come from referrals. Okay. What are you doing outside of referrals? Or are you able to attract clients even outside of referrals who are ready to take the next step, Candy? So I'm seeing yellows and red on that one. I will give us a yellow as a collective group. And then finally in the position phase is you have a content and marketing plan, meaning that you publish high value content that walks people through the various stages of awareness. And this really goes back to understanding the buyer psychology. So when I say stages of awareness, if you don't even know what the stages of awareness are, give yourself a red, because you're probably not doing it with your content if you don't know what that is. But it's really understanding like sales psychology and what makes people buy. And I really qualify or say that high value content is content that is in alignment with your buyer's psychology, with the buyer's strategy, with how a buyer makes a decision. And this is where many people fall short, because if maybe you're making a ton of content, but wondering why I keep making content, but none of it's working. I can guarantee you right now that you can make less content that's more effective when you understand, buyer psychology. So this is a huge, huge, huge value add that my clients get inside of services that sell. Once they understand this, so much else makes more sense. Okay, and then finally, we're moving into the profit. So this is really all about, this is really what your sales mechanism is, the mechanism you use to convert clients. So first question here is, you have one platform that you publish content on consistently. Whether that's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, your podcast, whether maybe publishing content for you is hosting in-person events. Whatever that is for you, whatever platform that you use to create that high value content that we talked about, do you have one platform that you publish content on consistently? Give me green if you have a yes, yellow if maybe you publish content somewhat consistently but not completely, red if you only post once a month. If you post once every other, every third week of the month, I would give yourself a red, because I would not say that frequency level is consistent enough. So let me know, do you have one platform that you publish content on consistently? And this really needs to go back into like that high value content that we talked about, okay? So give me a green, yellow, or red for where you feel at on that. I'm seeing yellow, green, red. Okay, I'm going to give us a yellow for that one since I see all three. Okay, so the next one is you have a process to prepare for your sales calls. And when you have a sales conversation, you are fully confident. So you should have, like, just like if you were an NBA player or if you were an Olympic athlete, they don't just get up that morning and go run out on the field. They prepare, they have a preparation that they prepare before they go get in the game. And you as a business owner, before you get on your sales calls, you should have a preparation process. So let me know, do you have a process to prepare for your sales calls? Give yourself a green if you do. If you are just winging it, where you just hopping on a call, there's no preparation, you don't necessarily feel confident, I would give yourself a red. And if you are somewhere in between, go yellow. Okay, I'm seeing red so far. But you got to have a preparation process, especially, until you get really good at it. So I'm seeing red. We'll go red on that one. Okay. So the next one is you have a process in place to qualify your leads before getting on a sales call. And I think this is really important, because if you are getting on sales calls with people who are not qualified to work with you, and you're not really, like, they're not qualified for you to be able to serve them with the service that you sell, this can be a huge waste of time, both for you and for the potential client. So you want to have a process in place that allows you to qualify your leads before getting on a sales call. And that really goes back to, if you're converting more than 70% of your leads, I'd probably, like, more than 80% of your leads, I'd probably say you're in the green zone. If you're somewhere between 50 and 70%, I'd probably say you're in the yellow. And if you're less than 50%, you're definitely in the red. But this is really, really important, because if you don't know how to qualify your leads, you could be getting on the phone with people who are like, why are we even on the phone right now? Like, I can't help you. You can't help me. Like, we're both just wasting time. I could have been in the house catching up on Game of Thrones or whatever. Okay, so I'm seeing reds and yellows, but I'm seeing more reds than yellows, so we'll go red for that one. Okay, so the second to last one here is you have a sales script that you follow which converts consistently. You know what to say on a sales call to guide someone to yes. And this is so important, because if you're winging it on every sales call, that's going to be detrimental to you in the long term. Mainly because you want to be able to have a sales script or a template or something to follow, so that you know when you get on a sales call that you can consistently convert those clients. So I'm seeing a red. Let me know where you guys are at. If you have a sales script that's been working for you and that allows you to convert clients consistently, I'd go green. This is something that you follow on a consistent basis, you're confident about. Meaning, like, if you were to hire a salesperson right now, you could give them a process to follow and they would be able to close clients for you. Okay, so I'm seeing red. I'm seeing more reds for that one for sure. And then the last one is you know how to overcome client objections on sales calls and follow up with prospects if they do not say yes on the first call. So I'm seeing yellow, meaning that, when clients, all clients aren't going to say yes on the first call, and that's not a bad thing. Some of us need more time. Some of us need to process information, and that's okay. But you shouldn't just be getting off the call with somebody who needs to have a follow-up call and them just going into like ghost land. You should have a container where you're able to control that entire sales cycle. So give yourself a yellow, green, or red for how you feel about that. Like, you know how to overcome client objections, and you know how to follow up with prospects if they don't say yes on the first call. I see red, yellow. I'm seeing more reds than yellows. And I'd say this is pretty like normal, guys. Like, I'd say most people really struggle with this whole profit aspect of the services that sell framework is because a lot of the time, if you need to be good at sales, like if you can nail down this profit aspect, this will dramatically increase your ability to be able to generate more revenue. So now that you've evaluated yourself and we've evaluated yourself as a team, we're going to go through and come up with a calculation. So I want you to go down on your own worksheet and write down the number of reds, the number of yellows, and the number of greens. So just write down how many times did you have a red throughout this chart. So for us, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reds. Okay. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yellows. And we had 1, 2, 3, 4 greens. So you will write down whatever your number was for you. And then from there, you will multiply that number by whatever prefix you see here. So you want to multiply by the number above. So you do 7 times 1, that's 7. You do 9 times 3, that's 27. And then you do 5 times the 4, which is 20. And then you add up these 3 numbers, and that's the percentage score that reflects the current state of your business. So if we go through that really quickly, we have 20 plus the 27 plus the 7. Our business as a collective, as all of us together, is at a 54%, which isn't terrible. None of this stuff is terrible, guys. Like, it's just, what it is. So we're at a 54%. So let me know in the comments, what is your score? If you add up all the reds, if you add up all your yellows, you add up all the greens. For every red, you multiply by 1. Now I'll zoom in on this so we can make this a little bit easier to see. For every yellow, you multiply by 3. And for every green, you multiply by 5. And again, if you are doing this on your own, be honest with yourself, because once we know where you are, we can start to identify what resources you need to close the gap so you can grow your business. Candy said mine mimicked the group. That's good. So I see a 54%. What other percentages did you guys get? So the thing here is that's important, and this is also broken down here in the workbook, is that each time you fill this out, so every 90 days, you should be improving. And it's not reasonable or realistic to assume that you will jump from 10% to a 70% overnight, but the aim is to make steady progress. And most businesses operate below 25%. If I'd say most people who join services that sell, or majority of the clients that come on board for me, are operating below a 25%. And if they succeed, it's not sustainable or manageable. So even if you're like around 50%, we're not doing bad. But it definitely is. If we can start to increase that percentage, you'll start to see the health of your business also increase. And you want to be, I think another thing that's important is the reason why I know myself that why I got in business and why I would assume many of you got in business is because you want to create something that is sustainable and manageable. And although it is unlikely to reach 100% in each and every category, achieving over 80% will turn your side hustle into a legit profit earning business. So all of the things that you have been struggling with will begin to iron out and fall into place. So let me know, like out of package, price, position, or profit, which one of these categories do you need to be focused on over the next 90 days? Like, where did you have the most reds or the most yellows? Where do you need to be focusing your attention on over the next 90 days? Packaging your offer, pricing your service, positioning your offer, or really being able to develop a more solid and consistent sales process. And let me know what that is for you guys in the comments. I'm seeing profit. Candy's like, profit! Exclamation point, exclamation point. Yeah, I'd say a lot of people, they need to get better at sales. Like, you need to get better at selling your services. A lot of us already have an amazing skill set. Maybe we're already getting referrals. But if you master the art of high ticket sales, you will make more money. Like, you'll be able to have more control over the growth of your business and how sustainable it is, how consistent your revenue is. And this is something that we teach in depth inside of the Services That Sell program. So all 4 of these modules that we just walked through is the framework for my Services That Sell program. It is the methodology that you will learn when you enroll in the program, and it is the exact methodology that we teach our students. So I really hope this was helpful. If you guys are ready to take the next step, I invite you to register for my masterclass, to go through my masterclass training, which will break down our process a little bit more. But if you know that you need to work on one or all of these areas, investing in Services That Sell will teach you how to package your signature service. We will teach you how to price your offer so it is aligned with your income goals, so you can start paying yourself. And so you can feel confident around tax time. Like, IRS is real, and you need to be able to have your funds in place so that you don't get that IRS bill, that you don't have a back bill with the IRS, and that you're good to go and have a healthy business. You need to learn how to position your services and position yourself. You really need to understand the buyer psychology and understand, how do I create content that aligns with how my buyer makes decisions? Because that is a very powerful tool that you can have. And once you're able to do that, then it's like you need to nail down your sales process. You need to get super confident on how to convert clients, how to sell your services. And all of these categories that we talked about really build upon each other, right? I can give you the perfect sales script, but if your positioning is off, if your offer sucks, if you don't know how to communicate the value of what you do, your sales calls are going to be a hot mess. So all of these things compound on each other. And it's no surprise that I think most of us, or most of you guys who are watching this right now, were heavy in the red zone during profit. It's because there's probably not enough strength, and there's not enough things built up in the first 3 phases that we talked about. So if you are interested in learning more, I invite you guys to go watch my masterclass training. I'll put the comment or the link for you to register for the masterclass in the comments below. But I really hope this was helpful. Hope you identify where your gaps are and where you need to focus your attention. And I just hope this was helpful for you guys tonight. So I look forward for you guys to actually go watch the masterclass training on how to create and sell a high ticket service. And really, if you're ready to take the next step, I highly invite you and encourage you to go watch that masterclass. You'll be invited to join my program, Services That Sell. And inside of Services That Sell, you'll learn every component that we talked about today on how to start getting all those up to a green. Okay? So have a great night, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, y'all.